Wait for this thing to catch up. Okay. So looks like I'm officially live now. So I apologize. I know it's been like a week since I've done anything, and you guys are used to me doing stuff like every day of every other day. So I do apologize that it's been a week. I do want to say thank you to everyone who's shown me like weeks of support from this past week. It was breaking off the star and that that was a lot, because I had people that have been talking to me jiving for the last almost 6 months of this relationship. And it has been it's just been crazy. It's just been just absolutely crazy that I'm, you know, I mean, those of you who follow me for days, you know this from my past, even though this account started in 2020, I got a lot of feedback from people who just didn't like people sharing my relationship. A lot of it was unkind, and I hate to use the word relationship so casually, for my ex-husband. And she had very well-meaning concerns, and it's not a dog in the fight. She just is on the side that she feels like has a say and there's some, instances, I don't think they're petty, but just like she has this say if things don't happen, bring them up. And there's a relationship we have that is less than a month, almost at almost at a year anniversary. And I told you about this year that um, I am I don't think that excuse me, I do think that some of the behaviors that he did I don't agree with. And for me, I don't know if I would go there if this person was me. I would not stay at the Airbnb because the Airbnb is like a tourist thing. Why protest there? I mean, she wasn't even inside there, from what we understand. I never understood that whole thing. But you protest Greensboro Police Department for not doing enough. You heck, go above them, go to the mayor, protest there. And if she doesn't listen, go to the governor. I mean, that's what I would do. Um, so it's crazy that, we're getting on basically almost 6 months and there's been no hide, no hair of Marissa. Um, Nobody's watching, nobody's looking. I mean, I honestly believe Greensboro PD is just giving up on this because they've not gotten any new leads. Uh, I spoke with a person who has been looking since March, and we compared notes, and I keep getting people who keep sending me things. I mean, now the news media, which I'm grateful the news actually did a story because it's been so long since anybody on the media out um, outlets have done anything. And they did say that the kids were going up for adoption. Sarah's gone on Facebook saying that's a lie. Smoke's getting the kids. And that's something I wanted to talk about because, and I was trying to get a hold of somebody um, in social work or in the foster care system to just get some clarification about protocol. So if anybody out there knows anybody in that world, or any of my fans or viewers know anything, please chime into the comments because I would love to know the answer to this. But my question is this: you've got children in the foster care system. One parent is missing. The other parent has a massive record of drug dealing, domestic violence, intimidating witnesses, animal abuse. You're being charged currently with misdemeanor child abuse. Is the foster care system so over I don't know, under supported that they would just let a man like this have his kids back with a history like that? Because some of this domestic violence stuff was just last year. So, um, what's going on with that? You know, why is no one thinking about this? And before AJ always something says something like, "Oh, I got this wrong. He wasn't convicted," or he blah blah whatever. I don't care. She's always got something to say. Probably why she goes by AJ always something. You know. Um, but I actually now that e-courts is like a thing with Guilford County, not only are you able to look up the court cases, but it actually gives you the incident numbers or the arrest report numbers, and you can actually see um, the breakdown of what happened. And I mean, what's crazy is that one case from I believe it was 2020, Marissa and Smoke got into it, and he in the reports she says he hit her in the back of the head with a glass jar. Um, Another one where he tried to strangle her. Um, One of the last domestic violence reports I read, they got into it bad, and he left to go get the kids. And when she called the cops, they went up to the school where he was. They searched his car and they found all kinds of marijuana in there and a scale and other things. So he was charged with, marijuana possession with the intent to sell. I mean, he got into some major trouble there. So, again, I don't understand why um, social workers would um, give children back to a person like this. I mean, not saying that drug dealers are evil. I mean, I'm sure there's some nice drug dealers. I mean, I have no idea, but I mean, I know some people get in that life because they don't know anything else. But when you are in that life and you've got a temper problem, I don't know if you need to be around kids. And you've got a lot of kids, Smoke. So what's going on with that? And it's funny because like when he got arrested at the school, he wasn't even driving his car. He was driving another woman's car. This is apparently the woman he's with now, and her name is Jessica Bowman. And he's got children with her too. So it makes me wonder, what is this guy bringing to the table that you guys are just, accommodating him with children? I'd love to know that because I don't see it. I just don't. But that is where we're at with this because I mean, I was just doing a more intensive look into him and the other circumstances. And I mean, it doesn't paint a good picture. And here's the thing I don't understand. Almost all of these domestic violence incidents happened at the house that Marissa shared with her mom, Sarah Carmichael. So you're going to sit there and tell me, Sarah, that you didn't witness this stuff go on and that you're still in support of this man having your grandchildren? I don't understand that. Why would you want that? Why? I don't get it, Um, he's devastated. I don't see it, you know? I mean, I was told by someone today that, Smoke was a controlling individual and he was paying Tasha to keep tabs on Marissa, and he was also sleeping with Tasha. That's a new one. Victor's telling everybody in the world on Facebook that Tasha knows where the bodies are. Why has no one really talked to him about this? Um, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, and then you got the Sean lead. Sean, yeah, he was one of the last people to see her, But he had a lady friend, that he was hooking up with. So Marissa couldn't be around. Why doesn't one actually talk to her to see what went down there? And I mean, I'm not saying that Sean is a great person because we know for a fact he's a pimp because you put his phone number in, it comes up with a lot of escort ads. So, but he may be a pimp, but he's not guilty of kidnapping Marissa. Because here's my thing: Marissa was a fighter, for one. For two, Marissa likes sex and she sold herself. I mean, I was sent video of such an ad. There's a picture of her in some underwear in a bathroom at a hotel, said $40, pull up to the red roof. I mean, what on earth, Seriously, what on earth? But I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to talk about bad about anybody, but she did not get trafficked because you didn't have to kidnap her to do it. She was already doing it to herself. So that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. And I don't know why that they're still going on with that narrative. The narrative of she was trafficked and the narrative of Smoke's getting those kids back. And like I said, if anybody in the audience um, works in social work or knows the law about this kind of thing about foster care or any of that, please let me know because, like I said, I would love an answer on that. Would they, in good conscience, give those kids to a man that has that kind of record, like a recent record? I'm not talking like something that happened 20 years ago. We're talking like he's got multiple incidents, especially over the last like 10 years and the more recent stuff in the last couple years. I mean, again, there was a DV case not even actually just hit a year ago with drugs involved. So, I would love to know, you know, is it possible for him to get those kids? I mean, I had a person who told me that those children just were beside themselves. That Marissa would send them out to when she was having a paid guest, and it got pretty bad when the kids started refusing to leave. And this person said, they felt bad for these kids, and or when these kids were with this person, they would cry and say, "I don't want to go home. I don't want to go back." I mean, what the hell did these kids see? What were they afraid of? You know? I mean, she had daughters, so what's the likelihood that her daughters would have gone down this road? Because this is what they were seeing on a day-to-day basis. And I have had so many people tell me Marissa didn't sell her ass. Well, I'm sorry she did. Okay, y'all. She may not have been convicted of it. She may not have been arrested for it, at least not under her actual name. I mean, who knows what, if she had an assumed name. But I mean, it's there. It's absolutely there. You don't have to look very hard to see this. So I don't understand why people are not seeing it. But but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Marissa did. It doesn't matter that she was a sex worker. It doesn't matter that she liked to party all the time. None of this matters because at the end of the day, she's missing and she needs to be found. And there's people looking. I'm talking about it. There's people actually on the ground looking. These are all things that are true. And I will say this: Marissa needs to be found for closure, not for Sarah, not for Emma, because those two can go to hell, but for Marissa's kids, because they need to know where their mom is. No matter what, they need to know where their mom is. And I mean, I've had so many people come at me over the last few months. How dare you talk about her? How dare you say she's a sex worker? How dare you do this? How dare you do that? I actually had one chick who made it very clear um, on this page, in my Red True Crime page, that I am a schizophrenic who needs to be back on my medication. So, okay, I'll get right on that. And again, so many people, you don't know what you're talking about. I have lived with them. How many people were living in that house? Seriously, this is ridiculous how many people have claimed to have lived in that house. I mean, it just sounds like a massive place of ill repute, you know? I mean, what is going on there? I mean, how do you have Sarah, her boyfriend Tony, Emma, Emma's boyfriend, Naja, that's five right there. Um, Marissa, which makes six, and her five kids, which makes 11. And at some point, Smoke was living there. That makes 12. So, how do you have 12 people in a two-bedroom, one bath house on top of all the other people who've claimed to have lived there off and on over the years? How does that work? I mean, what can we do to continue the search? That's a good question. You know, um, you know, I'm being told that the area in Trinity is going to get searched. Um, but it would be easier. I mean, it'd be great if people would actually admit what Marissa was up to that night. Or people who were out with her that night would come forward and say what they saw. Because we've had a few people say things, but there's always more, you know? Um, I mean, and I don't understand why Sarah keeps saying that Jersey and Sean stole her kid because they didn't. Police even said they didn't do it. I mean, I have screenshots of text messages between Marissa and Jersey for the week prior to her missing because they were going back and forth. I had another person who was a neighbor of theirs for the last 10 years who told me, oh, yeah, Marissa took off all the time. All the time. You know, this is not unusual for her to disappear like this. Um, a week at the most. But 6 months, that's a long time. That's a very, very long time. And I asked this person what they thought happened, and he just said it's just not good. He's like, this long, it's just not good, and that's awful. I hate to think about that poor woman, um, gone somewhere because she just made a bad decision. Jay Daniels, yeah, I think the SBI and the FBI should definitely get involved at this point because if you look at the statistics, we have a ton of missing people in North Carolina. So there's obviously something going on in this state. And then you start narrowing it down to Greensboro, where is a hotbed of trafficking. They definitely need to get involved. I'm told that Smoke, who goes by Charles Lindsay, whose actual name is Gamel McIntyre, comes from a family of traffickers. Has and also has family in law enforcement. So how do I know that they're not involved helping keep all this together? Then you've got Mo Dallas, whose parents were also in the sex trafficking arena in another town. So, you've got people all around this, but did they do this to Marissa? I don't think so. I truly believe at the end of the day, Smoke is your person you need to talk to. Smoke is the guy who is involved. And he is yet to make a statement publicly about his thoughts on Marissa. I've been told he's made it clear in front of witnesses he hated her. She was the biggest mistake of his life. Then you've got the fact that he was probably pimping her out. Like he got with her when she was a minor. They weren't even. She wasn't even an adult yet when she met him. She was dating his blood brother, best friend Jonathan White, who ended up getting shot and killed. And there's word that she was involved in that guy getting killed, Jonathan White. That they had gotten to a physical altercation and then she made a call and then a couple hours later he was shot and dead. I don't know. I guess that it's insane how all this kind of comes around together. Who needs to talk to Smoke? Well, I mean, the police need to talk to Smoke again. I would love to talk to Smoke and ask some questions. FBI needs to talk to Smoke because you scratch a little bit of the surface there. I'm sure you're going to find more stuff he's involved in. So, I mean, I'm sorry, why all the aliases? Why all the aliases? But yeah, like I said, it's been crazy. This has been a crazy ride. 6 months, no word. Love to know what's going on. You know, people. should be checking the Trinity address because I get a link, I get a phone call, and I get a message on Facebook. Go here. Why? Is it a prank? Is it a lure to get me out there, maybe to get myself hurt? Or at the end of the day, is this person telling the truth? I don't know. Only the police can answer that question, and I don't know. So, like I said, it's sad. Father's Day is coming up. Those kids have been in foster care since October, so you're getting on almost 9 months. That's crazy. And I'm sure they miss their mom. And then you got Sarah there spinning that narrative. Oh, she's being trafficked. Oh, she was kidnapped. Oh, she's being used for drugs and sex. Okay, Sarah, are you thinking this in between popping the Percocet pills? Because I know the person who's been selling them to you. So maybe get off the perks because if you have cancer, you say let the police do their job and continue the search sooner or later she will turn up. Okay. Well, I mean, are the police doing their job? That's the question. Are they? Because they have not made any statement about her in the last 3 months. So what's happening there? But if she turns up, the question is, I mean, right now, survey says she is no longer alive. Yeah, she's no longer alive. I don't think she is. I think X marks the spot in Trinity, and I think Smoke did it. That's my thought. That's what I think. Too much has been said about this man. People are terrified of him. People are, saying, "Hey, I saw him do this. Don't tell him I said this." I mean, we're getting a lot of that, and I think he had help. I truly think he had help. That's where I stand. I think Sean and Jersey made the perfect little setup guys, and I think he had help. And I think Mo Dollars is just a pimp. But, there's that. So I got a comment here. Sarah made a comment under the News 12 was wrong that Smoke was getting the kids. Why would she want her grandkids to go to such an abusive person? Tanya, that's a darn good question. I keep saying that. Like, why would the social work system give those kids back to a man with dr- current drug charges, current domestic abuse charges, and current child abuse charges? Why? I don't understand that. Why? And also, with Sarah having been witness to all this going on, why would you want those kids going there? I mean, answer that. I mean, why would you want that? I mean, I honestly do not understand how this goes on. I mean, like I said, I've never had my kids in the foster care system, nor have I been involved with the foster care system, like never, took in children or anything like that. So I have a lot of questions. Sorry. But his criminal history makes no sense. Yeah, I saw that she wanted them. Hi, Tammy. That and she wants them to apologize for saying that. Yeah, I heard that. She's probably getting that from the advice from AJ always something because AJ was like, "Oh, we're gonna get money to get an injunction. We're gonna get money so you can get a gag order against these people talking about your daughter's case." I have not been gagged yet, so I'm gonna keep talking. Yeah, Tanya, I agree. Tanya said exactly, and Sarah knows he has done it. Probably watched, and she seems more concerned about Smoke than Marissa. That is a weird thing. She seems very concerned about Smoke. And that's my, I mean, I don't get that. I mean, yeah, he may be the father of your grandkids, but that doesn't seem to have been proven. If it has, it's not public record. Because I do know the court case that Marissa missed in January, on January 16th, because she went missing January 14th. That was about child support, medical support, and paternity. So, okay. And Kayla Nicole wrote, I'm not in the social work field, but my daddy and his wife foster kids not in North Carolina. And the kids they have were taken from their mama for a hell of a lot less than all the things Smoke got against him. So I don't know why any child services would give. Oh, let me open this up. Kids back to Smoke with everything he's got going on. Yeah, valid statement here. And that makes absolutely no sense because why would that even happen? Why would they want kids going back into that situation? I mean, he was involved before they got taken away, and they were in a horrible situation there too. I mean, I have been told the state of that house is insane. That like the toilet in the bathroom, it, like looks like it's about to fall through the floor. I mean, I don't know how they're still able to live in that house, and if it's in that state. I was told the kids were always hungry. That they, that Marissa was going to other people trying to get food for them because they were hungry, they didn't have food. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't know how she was. I mean, and that's the other story. Oh, she was doing good. She was doing great. She was going to move out and get her own house. Okay. Now, I did find out her youngest child, the little boy that has skeletal dysplasia. He's the one without arms. He was born without arms. I did find out that she was getting a disability check for him. And right now, that's like a little bit over $1,000 a month. So where did that money go? 'Cause if you're getting that, and I was told that Sarah and Tony paid most of the bills, where did that money go? Why were these kids hungry? Why were you living in that house in that state? What's going on there? Where is that money going? And I did hear that actually I'm gonna address this comment. Tanya says, I hate that Marissa is missing, but has a criminal record for assault charges as well. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And I've already addressed what those assault charges are for, but I'll go over it again. Marissa got into a physical altercation with two of her friends that she's known for like 20 years. And I found out they got into it because Marissa was screwing one of their guys, you know? And then Marissa decided to roll up on one of them with when this one was with her child. Now Sarah has put out there that this happened because one of them made fun of Marissa's child with no arms. That did not happen. They got into it over a man. Usually when women go at it, it's usually over a stupid man. So, you know, let's see. Have I looked up Emma's and Sarah's by any chance? I have looked up Sarah. I have not looked up Emma. Um, Sarah has basically the thing I found on Sarah was that she got into court for child support over Marissa years and years and years ago. And then the only other one that popped up was the elderly abuse charge when she was taking care of an old neighbor. And apparently the woman, again, I was told that um, Sarah left this woman alone and she almost died and had to go to a nursing home. So, but she was charged with elderly abuse. Yes, Jay, Marissa is still missing. So who's going to find her? I have no idea who's going to find her. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to be GPD. I truly believe FBI should have been involved in this way, way before now, or at least SBI. I had called the Justice Department, and they never did anything. I mean, they just said when I called them, they just said, "Yeah, there's nothing we can do. You need to call the mayor, you need to call the governor, you need to call the police commissioner, but we can't get involved." I'm like, okay. Oh, and Tammy, you remember when the thing with Sarah happened with the elderly neighbor? But sorry. Um, oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, I've made phone calls. FBI won't get involved unless Greensboro PD invites them in, which is, I think, is ridiculous. Okay, Kayla, I'm not going to read that out loud. What you just put about Emma. I don't need anybody coming after me again for insulting Emma. Oh my lord, that poor girl. But anyway, yes, Emma has a live-in boyfriend. I was a little surprised by that too. But I do not know if Emma has a record. I have not looked it up. That might be my next little search. But oh yeah, so there was, remember that video I did where I was really angry because Emma like messaged my daughters and to tell them like get your mom to back off from my family, blah blah blah. Do y'all remember that? Yeah, okay. And I did a video because I was angry and I called it Emma Villegas can go to hell, blah 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 blah. So yeah, that was up on YouTube for a minute, and then my daughter got a message from somebody else, um, and basically said, "Is this your mom? She is harassing this family and threatening them, and blah blah blah. I feel so sorry for you. The hell you must live in." Blah. And I got a comment from my kid, and she was like, "Are you harassing people?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Are you threatening people?" I'm like, no." And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna watch it for myself." I'm like, "Okay." So she watched it, and I came home and I asked her, I said, "So?" She was like, "That was the funniest thing I ever saw." I said, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "If I wasn't related to, I'd actually watch your videos." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's good to know." And she just laughed. She fully supports what I do now. Now that she's seen a video, and she understood why I was angry. She got it. She even understood why I labeled it the video like that. So I'm just gonna say this: the video, I took it down because it was causing some strife in my life. But you know what? So I'm gonna put it back up. I might change the title. May not call it Emma Villegas can go to hell because that was a little mean. But I'm gonna relabel it. But it's gonna go back up so everybody can watch it again and see my fury. Because that was something Star always criticized me for. She said I wasn't going hard enough. I wasn't in people's faces. People were messaging my child. I should be inflamed and angry and all the other stuff. And my thing is this: I mean, I could go the heck off, but I don't know if I need to appear unhinged because I've been accused of being unhinged. And I'm talking like this. So if I start screaming, I gotta believe that would really prove that I'm unhinged. So I'm trying to avoid that. And, just trying to avoid that. But and however, that was another critique I got from Star. And she also called me a snobby bee. I was like, okay. So apparently I'm snobby too. And what else did she say? She said I lived in a shelter, they saw it. So now at one point, I'm a bit, full transparency. My late husband was not the steady, reliable kind of guy. Thanks, Stacy. I appreciate that. And thank you, Tanya, as well, for the comments. Tanya said, "Don't let these people intimidate you into taking your work down." And then Stacy said, "Rebecca, I believe that most of us appreciate that you don't behave like that." Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Um, okay, so Jay Daniels just said, "I say have a rep for the family, preferably a lawyer slash activist, to get a meeting with GPD and professional search teams out in those 10 acres of land that need searching." I agree, but I don't know who's going to do that because it seems like with the craziness of the family, Sarah just saying nonsense and Emma saying nonsense, people are just backing the heck away from this case. They are just, it's One person who's a very reliable, known person in these cases, and she's local. Her name's Mallory Thornton, and she made it clear this was kind of a shit show, this whole thing, and that was like 5 months ago. Now we're almost 6 months out. Can you? I mean, imagine the nonsense I've had to deal with in the last 6 months, and I'm one of the few people still talking about this. I mean, now we've got the podcasters coming in doing stuff like AJ Always Something, Duchess for the Missing, Duchess Discussions, and she goes by the name of TM on YouTube. And now they're getting involved, which is whatever. And Sarah is doing her little bounce around, you know. Okay, yeah, and I had heard that Mallory was getting threatened, and that's why she walked, and I get that. So I mean, I've gotten threatened too. I haven't walked, but I mean, everybody has their limit, and I mean, I'm not by no means am I um besmirching Mallory at all because, like I said, she has her limit. I have mine, and I said I know how good she is at what she does. So I mean, I want to be her when I grow up, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it's been a constant chaos. I mean, Sarah is more worried about smoke, so it will not get done. It's been a shit show since day two. Yeah, I agree with that, Tanya. It really has been. I mean, even early on, you could even tell that Marissa was into sex work, and Sarah's like, no, she's never sold anything but food. Really, Sarah? Really? Why was your daughter hanging out in hotels at the age of 12? How did she get pregnant at 14? To have a child by 15? That behavior had to be found somewhere. It had to be seen somewhere. Yeah, and it is very sad that they keep running people off from helping find Marissa because it was like the first month that Marissa went missing. There was a message that had gone around saying that all the groups, all the missing Marissa groups needed to shut down, per Sarah. And then you find out it wasn't per Sarah, and a lot of people shut down. Um, but like I said, I'm still doing my thing. And let's see. And then the comment by Kayla to Tanya, and you'd think she wouldn't want anything to do with Smoke, knowing he broke a whole bone beating on his child, her grandchild that has a disability and born with no arms. I wouldn't want that fool anywhere near my grandkids if I had some sense. Okay. So, and again, we keep going back to this whole thing. Why are they telling people he's getting these kids? Why? When it's obvious he's not going to get these kids. I mean, I would hope he would not. I mean, the social work system cannot be that kind of broken. It would be like, okay, Jeffrey Dahmer had kids and then he went to prison and then came back and said, give me my kids. Even though I am a cannibal, give me my kids. So, and then we got Tanya says, I went through her and Mo Money Facebook and found illicit pictures myself. I have been following since day one. Right, exactly. They're all over the place. There's pictures everywhere. Now, of course, one lady who's a podcaster, she did say illicit pictures are not proof of prostitution, and she's right. It's not. I mean, you need to see an ad, or you need to see some type of criminal charge. I get that, but it's heavily, heavily implied that she was. And all the people she was friends with, all the people she hung out with, were well aware that she was doing this. So nobody is saying boo about any of it. I mean, except for Sarah. Sarah's the only one that said, "Oh, she didn't do that." Okay, whatever. And like I said, I mean, I was on the case for all of 5 minutes in the beginning, and I was like, "Oh, she was a sex worker." I mean, you could just see it. You could just see it. Yeah, and Jay, I hear you. Because Jay Daniels just said, "Yeah, Stacey Jones. Well, people like me don't want to continue because the PD all are against outside influence and efforts from non-police," and that's true. And you can't just the police can't just sit there and ignore everybody. I mean, you know, sometimes people will talk to people who are not cops. It's just what happens. I mean, after I do one of these lives, I might get one or two people say, "Hey, I have information." Okay, tell me. Why don't you go to the cops? I don't want to talk to the cops. Nobody wants to talk to the cops. And now that we're hearing that, there could be some type of familial um, connection to Greensboro PD, to Randolph County law enforcement, you know, it is what it is, Jay Daniels just put, why didn't Facebook take down that page? They talking about illicit photos on Mo Money page. It's actually not Mo Money, Mo Dollars, but anyway, good question. I mean, if you look at any of his Facebook pages, they have nothing but illicit photos on there. And unless people complain, they're not going to get shut down. Simple as that. So I would love for Smoke, Charles Lindsay, aka Gamel McIntyre, aka Marissa's baby daddy. I would love for him to get on here and talk to me. Because if you watch any of my live Smoke, um, you know, that would be something that you can tell I'm not a person who screams, I'm not a person who yells. I just ask questions and I let you talk. So I'd love for you to talk to me. So I'm putting this out there. I would love to talk to you so we can show the world, what's going on. Nee Essery. She had some other kind of income besides Waffle House. Is that a question or are you just making a statement? Okay. So yeah, thank you, Kayla, for handling that. Yeah, tons of proof, selling yourself, tons of proof of it out there. And there is. I mean, you can't not see it. But what's interesting is there is a person on Facebook, goes by the name of Nat Two Times. And she had a video of Marissa having sex and of Marissa running around a hotel naked trying to find a bathroom. And that's crazy, because why would you do that? And I asked her, I was like, I have a question about this video. And she's like, oh my God, that was a while ago. I said, okay, so why did you create it? She's like, because she was screwing my man. I'm like, who the heck wasn't Marissa sleeping with? I mean, come on. That's a lot. That really is a lot. Kayla, let Sarah tell it the FBI has been involved this whole time. Freaking liar. Yeah, I agree. She is a freaking liar. Um, definitely. Because Sarah, I literally have a voice memo from her, on Facebook where she said, "Oh, the FBI is not involved." And then I did a Facebook Live a couple days later, and she was like, "Oh yeah, they're involved." I'm like, "That's nonsense." Hey, said in the police, when I talked to Detective Denny, he did say that Sarah did contact the FBI, but they won't come in until Greensboro says it's okay to do so. And I'm telling you, Detective Denny, you gotta put down the pride and let the FBI come in, or SBI, somebody, because this has gone on long enough. I mean, people are starting to forget about this case, which is why I keep talking about it at nauseum. People think I'm obsessed, and I'm not obsessed. I'm just trying to keep her name out there, for God's sakes. I mean, like I said, I'm not on the level of Star who starts going to random Facebook pages and accusing people of murder. I don't do that. But somebody knows something. I'm pretty sure it's Nausea. I've said that before. I think she's the linchpin in the whole thing. Um, because when I talk to her, that girl sounds scared. Sarah wants to call Nausea an opportunist, somebody who'll do anything for money. Um, and I think Nausea will do anything that for survival, and that's a big, big difference. But I don't know. Like I said, these are my thoughts, random thoughts I have about this case, and I haven't spoken in about a week about it. But like I said, going through the criminal case files, yeah, Marissa's got stuff. Mo's not Mo, um, and Smoke has stuff. And it's crazy because they said that Marissa was a bully. She was a bully. And it shows in the criminal record. Now she does have one case that's been continued, possession of marijuana up to a half ounce, and she was supposed to go back in last month, but because she's missing, she didn't show up, so they pushed it out. It would be good to see her come back. It really was. That's a good question. So me, Essery asked the question. I do have a question. How does Smoke have all these different names, and they must be legal names because there's charge on them? Here's my thing. If you look at the police reports, it says it gives his aliases. Now it's possible they went ahead and charged him under the alias because they didn't have proof of it any other, but any other way to it. But you go back through the reports, yeah, you do see where they do list the aliases for him, as because I believe Gamel McIntyre is his actual name, and then Charles Lindsay and Smoke are his aliases. Stacey Jones, well, anyone who follows any true crime knows that the spouse, lover, ex is most often involved. That is correct. Um, your significant other is always suspect number one until they are ruled out. Always. That is generally how it goes with these crimes. It's more of a probability than anything. So, like I said, I feel bad for these kids. As I'm sure they're hearing about some of this stuff and probably looking at their dad like, dude, did you kill mom? You know? I mean, I could think of a time when I would have told my kids, hey, if anything happens to me, look at your father. I do remember those days. But she is still missing. We need to find her. This case needs to come to a close. Too many people are missing in North Carolina. I was reading something in the Triad City Beat where they talk about the missing and about how the numbers are staggering. How many um go missing all the time? It's crazy. They say they find a lot of them in the first like 48 hours, but there are some that have just been missing for years and no one's looking. Just like the case of Helen Dalton. Talked about that. She is the oldest missing person case in Greensboro and also the oldest missing person case in the state of North Carolina. And yes, I mean, she disappeared without a trace. Husband put out the story, changed the story multiple times that, oh, she ran off to a friend's house or ran off with her gay lover. She stole $20,000 and the mob's after her. These are all the things he said. And the police truly believed he did it, but they had no way of proving it. So, but I think she's buried out there on Mears Chapel Road somewhere. I really do. But, she's been missing for 61 years. She'd be 113 if she was still alive. I don't think she's 113. But same thing, no trace. When she left that house, left her clothes, left her glasses, left her teeth. I mean, now I will say this, Jay Daniels, Smoke and Sean. He said bring Smoke and Sean back into the interrogation again. The detective made it very clear he investigated Smoke so long that there's nowhere else to go. Oh, Muir Chapel Road, Jay. Muir Chapel Road. Now that has nothing to do with Marissa. That happens. It has everything to do with another missing person case that's like 60 years old that I had talked about before. But but yeah, I mean, like I said, where that house was no longer the house no longer exists. It's now like a shopping mall. But Like I said, this whole thing makes me sad. Just makes me so very sad. But yeah, I think Smoke needs to have the screws put to him. I think they need to beat him with phone books. Muir Chapel Road is where I believe Helen Dalton is. Yes, not Marissa. Marissa's probably in Trinity. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just one of those things where the facts are hard to prove. You get a lot of speculation, you get a lot of conjecture, and it is what it is. I mean, there's only so much we can do. But I can keep talking about her, and I can keep bringing up her name, and I can keep praying that one day she's found. Because right now, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. So, any of you out there, anybody out there who's involved in this case, who knows something, who saw something, you know, you know, I will be open to listen to you. Just give me a call, give me a message, text, letter, whatever. I'll be more than glad to take a listen and give the information to the right people because your conscience has got to be getting to you, dude or dudette, whoever, you know, because exactly what is going on here. People know what happened. Yeah, get the U.S. Marshals involved. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Now he's saying she is in New York. Trafficking works opposite from location, south to north, north to south. Okay. I don't think she's alive, Jay, but okay. Um, and Kayla Nicole, Stacey Jones, exactly. Rarely a stranger. 99% of the time, it's either a lover, ex-family member, or someone close to the person, not a random person. I agree with that. With missing person cases, almost always a family member is involved, or a lover, or a significant other of some sort. Okay, well, I've drone on for about 52, almost 53 minutes, and but here we at. So, nothing new exactly other than what we already know. Um, Sarah's going more and more out there. No, so sorry. Um, Sarah keeps putting out there the narrative that her daughter is being trafficked. I don't know what to say about that, but she's not being trafficked. I don't believe she is. And like I said, I don't believe she's being trafficked. I don't think she's alive. I think Smoke did it. That is the narrative I'm sticking to. And I challenge anyone to challenge me on that. I really do, because this gets old. This gets really old. And I'm tired. And I'm sure there's other people they would like me to talk about. So, on that note, I'm going to bring this live to a close. So, this is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Check out my YouTube channel, Red True Crime, and subscribe, comment, like, share, criticize, whatever. I'm here. You got questions, you got concerns, let me know. I'm always, not always available. I do work a day job, but send me out, a message and I will respond. Um, so again, my famous little line here is be weird, be rude, be safe. Because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I truly believe that. And so be careful out there, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll be back as soon as I can with something else. But have a wonderful night. Thank you for listening. I'm out.